Hello and welcome everyone to episode 33 of One Piece at a Time, the One Piece read-through podcast where we read and discuss 5 chapters of the One Piece manga each and every week. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host and freelance letterer at Shonen Jump, Brandon Bovia. How you doing, Brandon?
How's it going, everybody? I'm Brandon Bovia, English letterer of manga like Dragon Ball Super and Kaiju number 8. There was something Dragon Ball related I want to say, but I'm not sure if I can say it, so I'll next week.
Okay.
Just in case.
The only thing Dragon Ball related I know is that the movie's almost out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to see that as soon as possible. The manga chapter that I think will be out by the time this podcast comes out, but I don't want to do the mental math quite yet, but yeah, if you've read the new chapter by this time, let me know what you think, because it is very funny.
Oh, okay, cool. I can tell you right now, it'll be out for our patrons on this coming Friday, and then a week from now for everybody else. So that'll give you a bit of a better idea, because there's been a lot going on, and it's been hard to kind of keep up, but we are sticking to it and getting all in our One Piece, because got it. We need our fix.
Yeah. Oh boy, do we.
Do we ever. So let's go right into it with chapter 161, The Green City Erumalu, which is a mouthful because I have trouble speaking my R's anyway with a speech impediment. So thank you, Japan. This is just mean.
The chapters for this episode might have my favorite chunk of cover stories.
Yes. Like just
I don't know. I love seeing Django and Full Body just like back-to-back badasses kicking ass.
The bro ship. That's like we only got a small taste of the bro ship from Buggy, and it's funny enough that it felt like this was dancing together was a better build up to a bro status than Kobe and Helmeppo.
Yeah, seriously.
Like doing chores together. This was just more fun. To see Django come in, actually, man, these guys are weak if they're getting beat up by Django.
Yeah, seriously.
Just kicking all kinds of butt. Like, that's awesome. Like it actually made me like Full Buddy, a character I've never enjoyed.
How dare you?
Good on them. And you know what? We go to another good boy as soon as we get into the chapter itself with Bunchi, it's all-terrain transport turtle. It's the same turtle that All Sunday rode when we first saw her. He was wandering. It's like land and sea turtle. Good on him.
I love the shot like inside the carriage. Everybody's looking kind of cramped. Is it Mr. 4?
Yes.
Like he's not even in frame because he's so big, and he's just like
he's so huge, and it emphasizes just how tall Mr. 2 is. Like, my God.
Yeah. You can't. You can tell being cramped together. Like Miss Merry Christmas, Mr. 2 Bon Clay, just like they hate having to sit next to each other.
Oh yeah, and Mr. 1 just looks like he's ready to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah,
uneasy alliance in here.
Yeah, they should be at Rain Base by morning. So they're making their way. And some of these panels are just so wonderful. Like, the Unluckies, I think, are pretty much confirmed dead at this point.
Yeah.
Like, Sanji straight up killed them because they never came back.
Dang.
But I kind of love the substitutes almost more because the lizard runners, just these weird old-timey bathing suit wearing lizards running through the desert with notes. Like, that's amazing.
I don't know if this ever comes up again, but it's just one of those, like, I just love the breadth of ideas that Oda has. You could just lizard runners, why not?
There are so many great animals in this set of chapters, and that's like the highlight. Like, my God.
It really, really is. And I think it goes to show, or it's one aspect in which the world building is always really strong. When you're just like, what kind of just bizarre affronts against nature are we going to see that serve as the animals for these different areas?
Yeah, that's a good question. But they finally land at their port of call for the next phase of their trip. It is not Yuba like Luffy thinks. Instead of it's Erumalu. So our handy dandy map and it used to be a green city according to Vivi. It is very much not anymore.
If Luffy ever found Greenland, he'd be very upset.
Oh, he'd be very confused. Almost as confused as Usopp encountering a turtle/seal that's called a Kung Fu Jugon. And it proceeds to just beat the crap out of Usopp.
and then I forgot how fast this... it's like one page. It's like Usopp finds it. He gets the crap beat out of him, and then in the next panel, Luffy beat it.
Yeah, he beat it. And then Vivi's like screaming out, no, because apparently it's the code of the Kung Fu Jugon to become the apprentice of anyone who defeats it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like training all of the Jugon.
He's like, this is the pose you want. I love it. And then they just have a heartfelt goodbye, and it's one of those things that, like, as a reader, you know that that's something that's going to come up later. I very vaguely remember, but it is sort of one of those, like, just how quickly this is introduced and then moved on from. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I wonder if it comes back later. I honestly can't remember. I know this is expanded upon, and this is prime filler material to just stretch things out.
I am sure.
Oh, it is. But Chopper had to talk sense into them. The only way to make them stay behind was to bribe them with food, which, you know what? They might serve as pretty good guards for the ship because they left nobody behind.
That's actually great, yeah. Yeah, Chopper's coming in handy with his ability to talk to animals.
Yeah, no kidding. We get a bit more exposition. The reason we got Jugon in here, which are sea-based animals, is because the sea has started to encroach in the river. And that's why Malu, I'm not going to pronounce this properly, is just such a mess. Everything's taken over. It's all sand. The crops don't have any water. But in the last 3 years, not a drop of rain has fallen in the entire region. And the only reason Nanohana is good is because it gets water from the oasis of Katoria nearby.
Yeah, we're getting hardcore into some of the world building here. Just the even if it's, you know, fairly like exposition heavy, it is sort of. I really enjoyed going from place to place here and sort of figuring out like why things are the way they are right now.
Yeah, it's like, why is there a rebellion? How are they stoking this rebellion somehow? It is laid out here thanks to Vivi, where no place was getting rain except for Alabarna, the capital. Everybody called it a miracle until an incident happened in Nanohana 2 years ago, where a bunch of sacks fell off that contained this stuff called dance powder. And you got to love these guys. Like, I don't think it's a spoiler at all to say this is like, it's terrible. We dropped it. We were supposed to deliver it to the king.
It's like,
powder.
Oops.
I don't know about it, but the king ordered it. We're just making a delivery and ran off. It's like, oh my gosh, that is so obviously Baroque Works. I'm actually scanning their shirts to see anything about Baroque Works, but good on them. They kept it under wraps.
For this organization that has been notoriously bad at hiding itself.
They did a good job here. I guess it's fallen apart.
Maybe quality's gone down after 2 years.
Yeah, it seems to, but that's all it was. It's like it's this thing called dance powder. It's a thing that actually summons rain. Developed by a scientist where in a country where rain never fell. It just causes rain to fall. Of course, we get a mysterious powder from Luffy. Yep. Gotta love that.
Or he just loves the adventure of it. I was like, yeah, drugs.
Yeah, it all makes sense. It gives you visions. Mystery plant. Sort of idea. But as Nami explains, even though it summons water, it has to get it from somewhere. So
it doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, it steals the moisture from the smallest clouds. And so when the neighboring countries realized what was happening, they attacked, and it caused a war between all of them. And because of the devastating effect of this dance powder, the world government has banned its production. Because of the ongoing droughts and the dance powder that got dumped, everybody suspected the scheme. And of course, Vivi realized, Luffy means it's your father's fault. Like Luffy the idiot.
Yep.
Yep, but as explained, it was a trap sprung by crocodile to bring drought and ravage anger the people, increase their hunger, and incite rebellion. Which, honestly, pretty good. In that, you know what?
That's like some like bona fide messed up like political intrigue right there.
Oh yeah. It's actually pretty effective as a way to put it all down. It's like one of the more intelligent plans we've seen up to this point.
This explanation, I think, was kind of sorely needed, and it's I think pretty smart for Oda to have put it here, like, because we get this bit where Vivi's explaining the whole thing. Crocodile's behind it all, and screaming that I'll never forgive that man. And then you just see like a building explode in the background.
Yeah, I don't know if they directed or not. I can't. I'm
think
not
so.
able to tell because all the towns just collapse as Usopp, Sanji, and Luffy walk away. Yeah, and she's like, "What are you doing?" Nami's asking, like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm itching for action." So I guess they just had to work out frustrations and took it all down.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of the motivation that they needed at this point.
Yeah,
as we sort of were like, we have to prevent Crocodile from doing a bad thing, or like we have to prevent the civil war from escalating. But like now, I feel like we have a better sense of what Crocodile's presence has done for this country. Like he is actually the core behind this whole problem.
Oh yeah, and I think it makes sense to save it up until this point because otherwise we would have forgotten it. It would have lessened it. We've seen more of Crocodile now. We've seen how the plans are going into motion.
It's all falling into place.
Yeah, so it is honestly pretty great there.
I wanted to bring that up because I did complain earlier that it was like we hadn't really gotten quite the urgency for a lot of the way building up to getting to Alabasta.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, these Jeddah chapters are all, it's the finally the build up for why this is such a big deal.
Yep.
And hey, time for SBS to be useful again.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments about this.
Yes, we were waiting on this because I honestly forgot this. So Christmas is obviously Christmas. Golden Week is obviously Golden Week. Mr. 2 Bon Clay. So Bon is for year-end festivals, I guess. Bon and year-end festivals, sure. Double Finger is for New Year's Day because 1/1.
Yeah, that one, and even Oda sort of admits here, I think, that like most people like they didn't quite get that.
Yeah, they definitely missed that one. Sunday, it's interesting they say all Sunday because it's for all the Sundays or all the Sabbaths, I guess. So
sure, yeah, whatever,
whatever.
Close enough.
We got an explanation. There we go. Oh goodness. Oh, okay. Bon Clay stands for Bon Cure, or Bon and year-end festival. So it's just sort of all the rest of the holiday, year-end festivals. I guess it works out. So sure.
Yeah, so no more comments. SBS. We know.
No, it's there. Thank you. We appreciate it. Oda saved us.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and jump over to chapter 162, Adventure in the Kingdom of Sand, where our wonderful chapter title,
just posing,
the two-hand dancing heroes, baby, dancing in friendship, people in the back celebrating.
Oh, it's so rad.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is. God, the friendship is good. Good for them.
It's so good. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you both.
Good for you guys. Unfortunately, Luffy is not holding up so well because it is hot.
I really love the black shading on that first panel.
Oh, you can just feel the heat radiating off of that panel. That's just sand. And Luffy's hot. Poor Chopper needs to be pulled.
Bad timing for Chopper to be like going straight from a cold climate to the desert.
Yeah, and he transforms yelling at Usopp. He's like, "Take off your fur." And Zoro's like, "I'm not pulling you if you go human size, so stop it." But of course, Vivi is actually used to the heat, which is impressive. And she just sort of breaks down. She's very much exposition machine. These set of chapters.
Well, I mean, this is her homeland, so it all makes sense. She's kind of like the tour guide at this point.
Mm-hmm. And it's like some of the dunes can get over 1,000 feet high, which is insane. Luffy takes a sip of his water, which, of course, he fills up as much as possible. We gotta have hijinks where Usopp smacks him, which causes the water to go out. And
it has taken all of 3 pages for everything to fall apart.
Yeah, wasting energy, and it's awful. Like these guys are not built for the desert. How they survive is a mystery.
It's real. Like this whole chapter is them just going like, ugh.
It's very much like that episode of Avatar: Last Airbender where they're trapped in the desert almost.
Oh yeah.
We just need somebody getting high off a cactus at this point. And they're only a fourth of the way to Yuba at this point. Like they have a ways to go.
Yeah, I felt for them. Like you, this whole chapter feels like a journey.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of Luffy climbing the Drum Mountain.
Yeah, or just like tensions are kind of high. Everybody's like tired and on edge.
Yeah, it's not so good. And they're like, okay, we'll take our break at the next crags, and Luffy, as punishment, has to carry everybody's bags, which is just brutal.
Oh, yeah.
But this turns out to be a really bad idea because they spot the crags. Luffy rushes off ahead, and he finds all these birds just dying of thirst. It's like, it's looking pretty dire for them. Mm-hmm. And Luffy runs back without the material, saying, it's bad. There's birds dying all over the place. We got to help them, Chopper. And of course, Vivi immediately realizes they're fakers. The birds.
And they just stole all their stuff.
They're evil herons, desert pirates that trick travelers and steal supplies. What the hell is this country and its animals?
This only works on the assumption that, like, Luffy is too stupid to... Like, I don't think this would really fool that many people, but...
I mean, I have to imagine... I gotta imagine if this was one of those cases where if it was Goku in this situation, he would have just eaten the birds.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, dinner. What you think Luffy would be too, but no, he was actually concerned.
Yeah, he was just sympathetic enough to, like, hey, we need to help them, but oops. Mm-hmm. Well, and here's Sanji shaking down Luffy like that was 3 days worth of supplies.
Got no food, no water. Our personal supplies are gone, and it's just like Zoro's trying to be the calm one here. The heat's just getting to you. Cool down. We'll be in Yuba tonight, and there's water at Yuba. So forget it. It'll just make you thirstier. We'll rest for 10 minutes and go on. And then you just see the birds taunting them as they drink the water.
That face is just like...
makes you want to kill them.
They know what they did.
Oh, they totally know what they did. But Luffy runs after them into the desert. He's going to get lost again. But then he comes back because another crazy animal, a giant Sandora dragon, starts chasing after them. Along with a camel.
Yeah. I do, like, man, the escalation of this entire sequence of events is just, like, everything going from bad to worse. But at least, like, now they have something that they can fight, which is kind of the only thing they're good at.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a good chance for the three of them to show off. Because we got Gum Gum Whip, Dragon Twister, and Ipal Sprawl. Man, that's a good panel.
It's a good spread. I definitely, there are more of these, but like those sequences of just like Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji all just like teaming up against one big thing. Mm-hmm. It's pretty great.
I love how Nami even says, they could have just scared it off. Nah, that poor thing never stood a chance. And of course,
they just start eating it.
Yeah, time to cook it up. We lost our food. It's our chance to get it. Yeah. But it's also time to meet this camel. The camel he was chasing the birds and they flew away, and then this guy was running from the dragon, so he ran too.
Yep.
It's like, well, it's got a saddle, so great. There's room for two. We can ride on it. Luffy tries to get on, and he
just bites him.
And thanks again to Chopper. He says he was just passing through. He thanks you for saving him. He's willing to give rides, but to only to women.
And then they just start beating the crap out of him.
Exactly. And then Nami using those powers again. Oh, those pirates mean to you. What's your name? And I love the idiot, moron, jerk.
Yeah, it's great.
And they just call him eyelashes.
Which is, somehow weirder. Yeah, as Zoro points out.
Mm-hmm. Nami and Vivi riding on, eyelashes taken off, and all of them still kind of going nuts. Luffy just completely losing it. Oh, wait. Oh, no. We did get the cactus portion with Sokka. Because Luffy
it's the exact same.
ate some cactus along with the dragon meat, and he's just talking about tidal waves and stuff.
He's drugged out.
Oh, God.
Oh, then Chopper has the sedative.
Yeah.
To knock him out.
Chopper's dangerous. Take out Luffy with that sedative, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And then they have to catch up. They're dragging Luffy behind. I think face first, he's in the sand. That's rough.
Yeah. We got a whole montage here of just, like, I bet the anime probably could turn this into like 2 or 3 episodes worth of just like...
Probably could have just hijinks because they're running from giant frogs. The girls are staying ahead. Again, it's a journey. this
Yeah.
chapter.
This is an incredibly cursed adventure.
Oh yeah, but they get there at night, but the ground's shaking and something's wrong, and that's how we end the chapter. It's just like we finally made it, but something's wrong.
Wow, that was a lot.
Yeah, that was quite the chapter. Like, my goodness, but quite fun. Quite fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on to chapter 163, YUBA, the town of rebels. Sorry, I read this before, and it's starting my chapters at the end. Because Viz upgraded their memory of that, which is nice.
So they remember, but that's also not always handy.
Yeah, it's nice that they marked the chapter I left off on. That's great. I love it. The fact that they put me back is not at where I left off on a chapter when I go back to it. Not so great when I want to just
maybe they should reset that.
Yeah, maybe it should be. But unfortunately, even though we had the celebration between these two men, Django's still a pirate. So we got friendship, sin, and duty.
Man, you almost had me there for a minute, Full Body.
Yeah.
I thought you would have done the right thing.
But look at Full Buddy, still just stoic as all else, and even the other Marines are crying because of this friendship.
It's just like does duty not come after friendship?
Yeah, I guess not. Out. We'll see what happens, but Django is now the prisoner of Full Buddy. But what was that rumbling? What was that shaking? It was a sandstorm. My God, these spreads, like just Yuba being hit by a sandstorm, that is brutal.
That is really impressive.
Oh, yeah. We get back in. The YUBA oasis is just covered in sand. Nothing.
Where's the water?
It's the desert of swollen Yuba. And that's when we come across an old man digging in the sand. He's like, Yuba's all dried up. But, it can stop here and rest. The city has many inns, and we're famous for our hospitality. And this is Toto, just a citizen of Yuba. And I love the little swift above Vivi just covering her face.
Yeah. She kind of knows. I feel like she's kind of like trying to hide her identity a bit.
It is a town of rebels, so it's like, hey, where are the rebels? And the old man is like, what do you want with the rebels? You want to join them, do you? And he starts just tossing stuff at them.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I think a pretty reasonable response.
Yeah, definitely. But unfortunately, the rebels have left Yuba. They're no longer there.
They went all this way.
For nothing.
Yeah. Which, well, I think they'll explain a couple pages later, I thought.
Yeah. No? Basically, according to Toto, 3 years ago, the land began to dry and the sands began to blow. The desert was at war with Yuba, and the oasis is losing ground. So when the city ran out of water, the rebels abandoned it. So now they're at Katoria, which is on the east side. That's where the oasis that they were getting, that Nanohana was getting its water from. Yep. To the east. They went the complete wrong direction.
Yeah, complete. Oh my God. I swear, this whole thing has just been bad to worse.
Yep. And
there's nothing about this that has gone right.
And of course, Luffy immediately blows Vivi's cover. He's like, "Where's that Vivi?" And he's like, "Vivi? Did you say Vivi?" He's like, "No, she's not a princess or anything." And he just, I love how Zoro uses Usopp to whack Luffy over the head.
Just some good slapstick.
This Toto is like, "Don't you recognize me? I mean, I lost a little weight, but it's me." She finally recognizes him, and it's like, he says, "I still believe in the king. He would never betray his people. The rebellion is idiocy. Those blasted rebels. Please, you must stop them. Only you can save us now." Mm-hmm. And that's when we have a flashback for Vivi.
Flashback time. Yeah.
Alabarna, 11 years ago, where we do have a pretty extended flashback here. And we've got Koza, a village boy, going to the king, saying the village is all dried up. It's like, why didn't you save us? And the king is like, it's controlled by the gods. I have no power over it. And he's like, well, hey, my dad says kings can do anything, so get to work. But that's when Toto shows up, looking definitely a lot bigger.
Oh, definitely. I love the sort of ongoing gag here with Toto being sort of like an overzealous pupil, I guess, where he's, like you must, be polite in front of the king, and Cobra's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, I love the whole
just like, chill out, man.
you fool, and just punching his son over and over. The king's like, hey, we'll provide you relief during the time of drought. And you may remain in Alabarna in the meantime. He's like, such benevolence. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Koza's just like, hey, you have no idea what it's like for us. And runs off. Cobra's, again, he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, my king. It's like, you have a good kid. He defies the king because he loves his people. Yeah, Cobra. It's like Cobra's a good dude. As Koza's running by, he comes across young Vivi along with young Karu.
Yeah, just a little baby duck.
That's adorable.
Well, baby Hugh. I feel like proportionally they're all like kind of still similar, weirdly.
Yeah, and I love this. You get to see how good of a king Cobra is. Igram's like, forgive me, but this kingdom doesn't have the resources to compensate the villagers. Like, hey, don't be stupid. If we reduce our own living expenses and make a few adjustments, we can easily raise the money. And
he gives Igaram the old king chop.
And it's good to see Igaram again, you know?
Yeah.
It's good times. Igaram's like, all right, Your Majesty. It's like, oh, it's very nice.
Yeah.
And then Vivi comes in and all beaten up. She's like, I got in a fight and lost, and they're all shocked.
Yep.
And Toto's ready to stab himself. He's like, kill me, but spare my son.
Yeah. Cobra's got to keep both of them in line.
I gotta say, I kind of like the frizz look on Vivi.
Up to this point, I feel like we've all known Vivi is definitely, kind of a fighter. But seeing her like here as a kid, where she's a princess, but she's like getting in fights with like the kids around town and stuff.
It's great.
It's kind of a slightly different side to her.
Yes, it's good to see because we've seen her so regal and she's a kid now. I think she's 8, if that. Yeah, I love how Cobra has to knock out both Igaram and Toto.
Yeah,
it's only a fight between kids. Meanwhile, going back to the capital on the outskirts, it's a fight to the death. Between kids.
Yeah, we got a little rivalry between Koza and Vivi. All
the boys cheering on Koza because like, hey, just because she's a princess doesn't mean you gotta go easy on her. And all the girls are like, get him, Vivi.
They just have a big old montage of a fight.
And she's ready to become top dog of the gang. So we get to see the big old fight. It's adorable. And it comes to a draw because as of today, Vivi's the second in command of the Sand Band, which is just a good name.
Yeah.
It's adorable. And even more adorable is Igaram and Cobra very poorly hiding themselves as they watch.
Yeah, even the kids are like, hey, it's the king.
And then just like, I can just imagine them running off, calling out like, crap, 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 crap. Vivi comes to Toto. They're all just so nice. It's like, what a strange kingdom. A princess coming and going in the homes of peasants. Shows the kingdom's at peace. And then there's Igaram that goes by where you're like, hey, will you eat some lunch with us? It's like, no, I got some rice balls. And he goes after Vivi. And then comes Cobra.
You're right, just all trying to hide behind some fake bushes.
Yeah.
Fake little twigs.
It's like, I'm just worried.
These grown men are extremely silly.
But maybe it's a good idea because some grown men come up trying to kidnap Vivi.
Yep.
And the Sand Band attacks them, tries to hold him off so Vivi can get away. And that's the end of our chapter. It's like, oh, geez.
Yep. Things are picking up.
Guess there is some problems with Vivi hanging out there. We have the other SVS. And I love that we get a bit more of an explanation of the hiking bear. So what happens if one does not bow to the hiking bear? The hiking bear loves mountains and never forgives bad-mannered climbers. The punishment is 1 hour of sitting meditation style. This is harsh. Oof. After all, taking for granted the bear's beloved mountains is a serious offense.
I love how much he leans into the silly stuff.
Oh yeah. It's I love that you don't get mauled or anything. It's just like, no, you just
got to pay your respect.
Yeah, that's that way it goes. So now it's time to move on to chapter 164, where Django is now before a jury, which I'm a little concerned of because we got one guy crossing his arms looking just mean, one guy not caring drinking as he's judging.
Yeah.
Another judge in the middle just sort of looking the most official, like, oh God, these are the Marines, all right.
Yeah. And then the title, Naval Headquarters Trial Verdict, Death by Hanging.
It's like, jeez.
Full Body is a huge weenie.
Yeah.
he sold out his bro. They fought back to back, which is like the most like
anime that bro thing you can do.
Exactly. And you How do you sell him out like that? I'm upset. I'm upset.
I know it's the duty, and it's just like, come on, you can forgive your duty this once. Ugh, what a shame.
I'll never think of him the same way again.
I mean, we had a low opinion of him before, then we got back up again. Now it's back down.
I didn't realize this cover story would raise my opinion of Django so high.
Yeah, raise it of Django and Full Buddy. That's impressive. We get to the chapter itself, and yeah, the entire Sandband is trying to hold off these two men as Vivi tries to run.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot. Actually, speaking of Django, reminds me of Syrup Village a whole lot.
Yeah, but these two are definitely more effective than Django, which is sad.
Oh yeah, yes, low bar, but.
Mm-hmm. And they're just like, yeah, you can't have her. We're protecting her with our lives. Another one shows up, and Vivi has to run away to the ruins, and they're all fighting together. And Igram and Cobra comes across the kids, all knocked out by these guys. Like, dear God,
yeah, what a sight to be like. What happened here?
Yeah, beat up all these kids and took off towards the ruins.
Jeez,
just going after her, and they find her, and. That's when Koza shows up, knocks out a guy.
I love that shot of him coming like in shadow at the sort of at bottom of the page.
Yeah, it's
actually
it's pretty cool.
Actually, this whole sequence is really raw when you think about it.
Yeah, these grown men with knives, like trying to take on Koza, or actually a sword in this case. Yeah, and Koza's like, I'm not scared of this. Guy's just like, ever been cut, kid? I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, and he gets him clean in the face.
Oh yeah, but Koza mans through it and smacks him across the face, knocking him the hell out. The sword goes flying in and stands between them. Like, dear God, what a
freaking just awesome kid.
Yeah, seriously, well done.
But then,
Koza.
like, you see the sword, like kind of shunking down into the sand, and you just see Koza just like bleed out of his face. Oh, man,
like, jeez.
That's rough.
Of course, there's still two more, and that's a problem. Mm-hmm. Cobra and Igram come in and kick him across the face.
That's so good. Man, Cobra has been incredible these past couple chapters.
It was hard to tell like what Cobra was really going to be like, but to see this protective side of him and to see this.
Yeah, he's a good dad.
Oh yeah, good dad, good king. I love that he's just stomping on the.
How dare you attack my daughter? Stomping on him.
And then all of a sudden we get this mystery. It's like, are they with that gang too? And if we get names of Chaka and Pell.
We don't see him though.
Yeah, we only get little outlines. No idea what that's all about. But apparently they were hunting down more of these guys that were trying to kidnap him. It was a whole group.
Oh, apparently they suck because the king just got the
I mean, they did get sucker punched, so they're definitely getting doctors treated for Koza and the rest of the San band. And she was scared. Like, Koza's like, oh, it's fine. And it's like, well, I was scared of those guys too. And she's like, I don't want you to die for me.
Aww.
So she was scared for her friends more than anything else. It's a good scene because, Cobra again gets to shine here. Is like, she's, Vivi is a princess, my daughter. Your deeds shall not be forgotten. You have my gratitude, and the future of Alabasta is looking promising indeed. And Koza's just like, yes, I love this country, and so does Cobra. It's just a nice thing.
Yeah.
Igram's worried that Vivi might be too soft of heart, but Cobra thinks it's a good thing for Alabasta. And we get this line from Igram as well. I shall serve you to my final breath. Oh, that's
that he did.
Yeah, he did. That's brutal. Come on, Oda. You don't need to kick us while we're down. So that's when we see Koza talking with Vivi again, where Toto's been tasked by Cobra to make a city at the YUBA Oasis. A lot of travelers pass through that place, and it would make for so a city being there would be a lot of help, and his father would be hosting all of them. So all of them are going to go and get this city set up along with his father, and it's a big caravan. So they're not going to see each other for a while, but everybody's in good spirits.
It's sort of interesting how effective Oda manages to set up a lot with this flashback. Like, we kind of establish the relationship between Vivi and Koza, while also making a reason for them to have not seen each other in years. That is also like built into sort of like the world building of the present.
Yes, and then and making Yuba matter that much more because it was such a city that they built. It makes sense why Toto is here digging it, because he's so dedicated to the king. There's a lot of build up here, a lot of friendship, but she's also like, okay, why is Koza such a big deal here? Yep. And skipping ahead a little bit at the end of the chapter, that's when we get the reveal that Koza's actually the leader of the rebels.
Yeah. This I did remember.
Yes.
But seeing his line here at the end of the chapter where he's just like, this kingdom has gone to the dogs. He's just like, arms up, sunglasses on. He still got that scar. Just, earlier in the chapter, he was like, I love this kingdom. Mm-hmm. Talking to the king, and now he's just like, this place sucks.
Yeah, but it's also kind of built into him even as a kid, where he trusts the king as long as he sees the king doing good things, but if he catches whiff of the king doing bad things, which did as the king, he's like, all right, well, you suck as a ruler, I got to step up for this. So it kind of makes sense for him to be the leader and hear about this rain powder or dance powder and being like, okay, well, Cobra's fallen from grace, need to take him down because I love my country and this needs to be stopped because people are suffering.
Koza strikes me as a character with just an extreme sense of right and wrong. And we saw that as soon as we got introduced to him in the flashback. And it's sort of like, that was all you really needed to know to see him here and be like, okay, this is what this character is all about.
Right. And it is a little unfortunate that he doesn't have that innate trust in the king, especially after growing up with Vivi and seeing the king, but I guess he's been away for so long, those memories kind of fade. So you can kind of see why that would be. Not for nothing, but I will say Koza probably ended up with one of the more handsome men in One Piece.
Yeah, he's got the glow up. I mean, there's a lot of good looking guys in One Piece, but Koza's not bad.
No.
He rocks those sunglasses.
Yeah, it might be the sunglasses and the hair.
Yeah.
Poor Toto, trying again and again to stop the rebellion, talk them out of it.
Because he's like, my stupid son.
Yeah, my stupid son, you idiot, fool, beating over the head. But it doesn't matter. The next battle is going to decide everything because they've been driven into a corner ready to die. And that's finally finishing off the stakes of all this.
Yep. I feel like we kind of, everything's in place and we're ready to go.
We finally see why it's such a big deal, and why we got the rebels established, we got Crocodile established, we got how the rebellion was incited in the first place. It's an impressive amount of placement in just 5 chapters.
Yep.
But let's go ahead and go on to chapter 165, Operation Utopia. No Django, we just get a nice little 1-page, not full page spread, just 1-page thing where it's just all of them doing their thing, preparing.
Luffy's got a big old straw.
Yeah, the big straw is pretty ridiculous.
Yep.
We go back into there with Toto. Vivi's telling him not to worry. She's going to stop the rebellion. You got that smile, which dang it really does make you love Vivi in these moments.
Yeah, you want to root for her.
Yeah, you really do. You can see why the group is banded around her. It's time to go into an inn and build up their strength for tomorrow. And we got this whole thing between the two of them that just, again, this crew just being insane at all times where...
Yeah, it's complete chaos.
Yeah. Sanji, like, hey, sleep in my bed, or I didn't want you to sleep alone, or something like that.
Usopp's pillow at him. And then that pillow somehow gets thrown back at Vivi.
Yeah. Again, she has some wonderful faces in these moments. She's just
she's just...
You can tell how much she's sort of built up with them, and it's nice.
She loves this crew.
And then Luffy's just outside with Toto bugging him. It's like, hey, where's the water? How can you live out here? It's rough.
And he starts digging through the sand, but he's like digging the sand back into Toto's pile.
Yeah, he's like, is this sabotage? What is this all about? I'll dig for as long as it takes. You will never surrender. The king entrusts himself. Like, again, I love this full look at Toto's character. And even just seeing how Luffy wears himself out digging deep into the sand. Like, even carries him back into the building so he can sleep properly. Toto's awesome. I like Toto.
Yeah. Good dad. Good grandpa.
Yeah. But it's time to go back to the numbers. The Baroque Wars.
This is such a great scene.
I know. Got this big extravagant table. Mr. 4 laughing at Mr. 2 spinning. Double Finger and Mr. One just being as stoic as ever. Miss Merry Christmas, of course, just talking like crazy.
Your jabber makes my back hurt.
Yes.
What? Oh my goodness.
And then here comes All Sunday. It's like, well, I guess it wasn't too much to expect you to actually get along. But
they're all cranky.
It's nice. It's nice to see you. Welcome to Rain Base. In this building we're in right now, it towers over the center of Rain Base, the biggest casino, Rain Dinners. Which, boy, that is a interesting name for a casino.
That is an interesting name. Yeah. It's funny how like this area, like Alabasta in general, feels like such a interesting cross culture kind of thing where it's like, oh, suddenly Las Vegas, that's in the desert. Sure.
It's like every desert location rolled into one.
Pretty much.
They finally get to meet the leader of Baroque Works.
Yep.
Crocodile, and the ultimate plan for Baroque Works, Operation Utopia, which, seeing him absolutely shocks them all.
Yeah, as Double Finger points out, like, that's one of the 7 warlords of the sea, so apparently they didn't know. Well, I mean, I guess they didn't know his true identity, but...
And Mr. 2 seems perturbed, like, we're henchmen for a pirate?
Yeah.
And that face by Crocodile, disappointed.
It's like, whoa, like, no, sir.
Which completely makes sense that they all go silent and cross their arms at that point.
Woo, boy.
Ooh,
just the amount of, like, just swagger that Crocodile has in the scene.
It's good. This Double Finger has a good question, though. Why would one of the pirate allies of the world government create an organization? He's like, I'm not interested in money or status. I want military might.
Mm-hmm.
And he reveals to them the true aim, the ultimate goal of Baroque Works, whatever Operation Utopia is. And we don't hear it. It just goes to afterwards. But Mr. 2's really excited. But it's like, this thing, whatever he's out for, is in this kingdom, and we're going to take it away, kingdom and all. That's interesting that he's not after the kingdom itself. I actually forgot this. He's after something else.
There's a particular reason why I am distinctly aware of what this is, and it's because it is relevant to the current events of the manga in a very funny way.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
All right,
so
then.
This thing, it's not necessarily that it comes back up later, but it's one of those more just like, oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the way that came back, I was just like, oh right, yeah.
Man, dang it, Oda.
Yep.
No clue what that is. It's amazing that he builds an organization, plans to take over a country, all to get at not even the country itself, like incites a rebellion. And he just wants Alabasta to disappear.
Got their instructions.
And then they all burn him.
That's such a cool visual.
Yeah, like it actually serves to make these guys actually, like they've been fighting each other and kind of ridiculous and not really all that something to be taken seriously. But some of these panels really highlight, like they're still silly, but they highlight they're dangerous too.
Yeah, the way in which, I don't know, like Crocodile is like using them to sort of like stoke a fake rebellion.
Yeah,
so that you can like gain control.
Whatever they're out to do, the kingdom of Alabasta will self-destruct. The rebels and the citizens will inevitably fall under the control of Baroque Works, and in a single night, the kingdom will be his utopia. Somehow or another, he's doing this in one night, and it all begins at 7:00 tomorrow.
We're really getting into it.
Yeah, what in the hell is happening?
Oh boy. Man, I'm so hyped.
Yeah. And just that, I pray for your success, like, And
you'd think that is where the chapter would end, but we still got a little more to go.
Yeah, there's a little bit where it's the next morning and everybody's taking off. I assume it's probably pretty early, or maybe not. It's hard to tell with the time scale and all this, because the sun seems relatively high up, or maybe just kind of over the horizon. So it's probably just sunrise. Toto actually managed to find damp sand and was able to extract some water from it and gives it to
sandy
Luffy.
Water.
Yum. So genuine YUBA water that Luffy gets. And they all wave and take off. But all of a sudden, Luffy takes a seat next to a dried out tree. And everybody's wondering what's going on. What's wrong? And he quits.
Huh?
That's all right.
That's the end of the chapter.
I remember hitting that like, what?
I'm done. What? Okay. And for that to be where this episode of the podcast ends is so funny.
I know.
That is a cliffhanger.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it's wow. Well, we'll have to see next week how that turns out.
Seriously. But yeah, it was a lot of exposition, but it was needed exposition, and it flew by and really it set the stakes in a way that
it really did fly by. Yeah, and I feel like, gosh, it feels like we are already just flying towards all of like the climax, because in terms of like chapters, there's not really that much left.
I mean,
when you think about it.
I mean, I think if I remember correctly, Alabasta goes to like 217, so we have a ways to go. But we
have a ways to go, but like it'll be here before you know it. Exactly. Yeah. It's just like, whoa, okay, we are moving towards it. All of the plans are falling into place. So yeah. I'm excited to see to revisit how this all plays out.
Same here. And I know there's some really fun stuff coming when we actually get into it. I don't remember the specifics of a lot of it, but I know that's some fun stuff.
Oh,
and, I'm ready for it. But with that, I believe we've said all we've wanted to say about chapters 161 to 165 of One Piece. Thank you so much for listening, and you can find more of my ramblings and stream VODs over at BitNerd Games on YouTube, or BitNerd with an underscore at the end on Twitter. And Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
I'm at Brandon Bovia on Twitter, talking about not a whole lot lately, but usually
you're too busy playing Xenoblade.
I'm too busy playing Xenoblade. I got a lot of work deadlines. It's hard for me to all right, follow me if you want to see me shill my books at random points. That's really it.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff. If you'd like, actually, I just reminded me. I did see the best name for a Nopon ever. If we want to talk Xenoblade real quick, Shill. That's amazing.
Shill. I love Shill.
Shill is like just a great name. I know nothing else. I just know Shill. So
love Shill. I'll shill for Shill.
That's a good Nopon name. But anyway, if you'd like to help us out more, time for me to shill. You can support the podcast over at patreon.com/Derek Bittner. That's DERRICKBITNER to listen to the next episode 3 days early. And make sure to return next time as we discuss chapters 166 to 170 of One Piece. Until then, my friends, bye.
Remember to take life one piece at a time.
Accept male passengers. I'm too macho.
I'm so sorry that my crewmates are a bunch of ill-bred louts. Now, what should we call you, you great and precious camel, you?
Idiot! Moron! Doofus!
Eyelash it is, then.
How'd you arrive at that?